Okay, crank up the volume. Feel that bass. Whether you're listening through your phone, your headphones, or a massive concert rig, they all have one single job, to make sound. But if you ever really, truly stop to think about what is actually happening,
Really think about it for a second. It feels like pure magic, right? One moment it's just a silent object, and the next, bam, it's filling the entire room with music. Well, today, we are pulling back the curtain on this incredible trick. Let's dive in and see how some pretty simple physics turns invisible electricity into the sounds that, fill our lives.
Okay, so every single sound a speaker makes, and I mean every sound, starts its journey right here, as an electrical blueprint. This is the secret code, the set of instructions for every note, every beat, and every word you hear.
So what exactly is this secret code? Well, it's an electrical signal. It's just this tiny, constantly changing current sent from your phone or your computer. And those fluctuations, the little peaks and valleys in the voltage, they are a perfect copy of the sound itself. They are the blueprint for its volume, its pitch, and its tone.
This electrical blueprint travels down a wire and feeds directly into the heart of the speaker. And you know what? Almost every speaker, from the tiniest little earbud to the biggest subwoofer, is built around these three fundamental parts. You've got a permanent magnet, a voice coil, and a speaker cone.
So the big question is, how do we get from a silent electrical signal to actual movement? Well, this next step is all about the invisible hand of magnetism. This is where the real action starts, with two key magnetic players getting in on the game.
Let's break down their roles, because they're very different. First up, you have the permanent magnet. It's totally fixed in place, and it creates a steady, constant magnetic field. It's just always on. But then, you have the voice coil. It's the super lightweight coil of wire. And what's special about it is that it only becomes a magnet when that electrical signal flows through it. It's the variable player here.
And this right here is the core concept. The voice coil is an electromagnet. See, when that audio signal from your music flows into it, the coil generates its own magnetic field. But turn the music off, the current stops, and poof, the magnetic field just vanishes. This on-off, ever-changing magnetic property is the absolute key to, well, everything. So this interaction, this is what I like to call the magnetic dance. You've got two magnetic fields at play, the constant one from the permanent magnet, and then this rapidly changing one from the voice coil.
And you already know this. It's a law of physics you probably learned as a kid playing with fridge magnets. It's that simple. When you put two magnets together, they either snap together or they push apart. This basic push and pull was the force that drives the entire speaker.
So check out this chain reaction. That audio signal fluctuates, right? We're talking thousands of times per second in the voice coil. This causes the voice coil's own magnetic field to change just as fast. As its polarity flips back and forth, it gets rapidly attracted to and then repelled by that fixed permanent magnet. The result? The voice coil gets violently pushed and pulled back and forth.
And here it is. Here is the crucial connection that turns this invisible magnetic dance into something we can actually hear, that furiously moving voice coil. It's not just floating in space. Nope, it's physically attached to the speaker cone. That's the diaphragm you can actually see moving on the front of a speaker.
All right, so we've converted electricity into magnetism and then magnetism into physical motion. Now for the final act, turning that wild back and forth movement into the sound waves that travel all the way through the air to your ears. Okay, so since the cone is attached to the voice coil, it starts moving back and forth at the exact same speed and intensity. And as it moves, it's physically pushing and pulling on the air particles directly in front of it. It's literally punching the air over and over again. So how does punching the air make a wave? Well, when the cone pushes out, it squishes all the air particles together, creating this little pocket of high pressure. That's called compression. Then when it pulls back in, it leaves a low pressure zone, which has the cool name of rarefaction. Now do that thousands of times a second, and you create these alternating pressure waves.
And that's it. That is the big reveal. These pressure waves, these little ripples of high and low pressure traveling through the air, that is sound. It's not magic at all. It's just moving air in a very, very specific way.
And the way it moves translates directly to what we hear. So if you want a louder sound, the cone just has to move further back and forth, making bigger pressure waves. Want a higher pitch sound? The cone has to vibrate faster. For the highest notes you can hear, that thing is moving up to 20,000 times a second. These waves travel across the room, they hit your eardrum, and your brain does the final amazing job of interpreting it all as music.
So, the next time you feel that bass thump in your chest, just remember what's really happening. It's not just a speaker. It's this tiny, elegant engine running a precisely choreographed dance between electricity and magnetism, forcing a simple cone to manipulate the very air around you into a symphony.
Pretty wild, right? It totally makes you appreciate your favorite song in a whole new way. And speaking of which, what's your favorite sound? Is it a musical instrument, maybe the sound of rain, or something totally different? Let us know down in the comments below.